All right, everybody. For those of you who doesn't know about this Jeep, this came here with a problem where the engine would not start, and if you actually press the gas pedal, and the engine would start, but it would misfire terribly. Now, these symptoms normally, are results of vacuum leak, fuel problems. Fuel pressure issues. Timings and so on and so on. This car was a mystery. So the customer had taken the car to another shop for inspection. They ended up telling them to replace an engine. So the customer brought me a used engine. I ended up swapping it for them. But after the used engine was swapped in, this work was authorized without me inspecting the vehicle. It's just I ended up doing exactly what they asked me to do. Once I swapped the engine in, start the car back up, it did not want to start. It had exact same problem. Sometimes it would start with the gas pressed, sometimes it wouldn't. It was weird. So after that, customer gave me authorization to do diagnostics. So I went through every diagnostic step known to me for these Jeeps. So first thing, before dismantling this entire motor again, I did a smoke test. There was no vacuum leak. And then I put my scanners on. There was only one code. Now, I know there will not be any more codes because the car does not have time to run and register everything. So just because of this freaking headache, I had no idea what else to do. So I started taking the valve covers off, check for the timings. The timing was right on mark. There was nothing wrong with the timing. I checked all my grounds, make sure I didn't forget to connect any of the ground straps. I checked all my plugs behind the motor. There are two plugs behind the motor for the oxygen sensors. There's one main plug on this side. I don't know if you can see it. I had to check that, make sure that was connected. And checked all my vacuums. It was a nightmare to figure out what's going on with this car. Now, I did compression tests. I have videos of it. Compression test came out perfect. So, what the heck was going on with this car? Why wouldn't it start? And why would it... Anyway, long story short, I ended up taking a scope or a small little whole camera I have, and I try to go into the cavities and follow the cables, see, if I find anything that I cannot see. And sure enough, when I followed this cavity here, there was an airbox here. I noticed that there was a nest right there, and these wires were chewed up. So I initially decided to replace the harness. And this harness goes to the fuse box. And I was thinking, you know what? Let's replace that harness and call it a day. I called a bunch of junkyards. None of them had a harness sitting around, so I had to source one out from one of the locals. Not locals to me, but they were like 3 hours away in Seattle. They had the car they were porting out. And I contacted the person, and he goes, dude, he can take the harness out, but it's a freaking nightmare. The harness, this harness, and this harness runs through the entire vehicle. So you can see it goes through that, and then you'll have to take the entire dash part, and it's a big mess. He was selling me the harness for a pretty good price, but again, the labor he was going to do to take it off was the same labor I had to do to put the sucker back in. So what I figured that find out how many wires are burnt or chewed. So I noticed we only had 1, 2, 3, 4 wires that were chewed. This fifth one is not completely. Let's see. It's not completely. Okay. Oh yeah, it is gone too. So the wire is broken. I'm gonna splice this together too. I forgot about this. So I'll be back. Here you go. I just twisted it together. The rest of the wires are not bad. Now, I don't mind ripping the dash out, ripping everything out, and use a harness in there. But the customer of mine is exhausted. She has spent some money at the other shop, then she bought an engine, then she paid me labor to put it back together, and I just got inspection money from them just to inspect everything. And now I'm gonna have to charge them a lot of money to take the dash apart, dismantle the entire interior of the car just to run this wire harness under there. And that was not gonna be something either I was comfortable with asking them to do, or I think they can't even justify this because this car might not be worth money based on the labor it takes to do that. So what I'm trying to do is connect these wires just by hand and make sure that we have no other wires. I'm gonna go try to start it. So for those of you that don't know where your battery is for this car, this is 2015 Jeep Grand Cherokee. The battery is right under the passenger seat. There's your positive and there's your negative. So I just connected my negative. I'm gonna go ahead and start the car and see if those wires have fried the ECU, or I don't know, whatever system they go to has any burn. So just gonna go try to start the sucker. If the wires are chewed like that and they've been getting in contact every time you turn the ignition on, it should blow a fuse. But the thing is, not all the time. Some systems are not fusible. They're not using fusible links. So let's see. It does not want to crank. Okay, I'll be back. Here we go. It turns out I had taken some of the fuses out just to make sure I don't short any circuits, so I have to put the fuses back. So let's try to start it again. All right. So it looks like we are getting some warnings. Let's see what we're getting. The car is starting and I don't have to press the gas. The car is running at idle, which is good. So right now we got passenger door open. I don't know. Yeah, it was open. Trunk's open because I know trunk's open. I have some parts over there. I don't see any more warnings. See if there's any check engine light. Alright. Okay. Don't see any check engine light. No other warnings. Looks like it's idling pretty smooth. Alright. There you have it. So I'm not gonna replace the harness. I can't take it for a drive just yet. I gotta put all the stuff back together so it's at least drivable. But right now it's starting. That's all my concern is. Okay, let's try it again. Hopefully it wasn't a fluke. What am I? Okay. Anyway. Alright guys, everybody. So if you have, I really hope you don't have that problem, because this would drive you crazy. And I'm sure you're working on it and the customer is the one paying for it, and it's a nightmare. Yeah, I smell some of the oil's burning. So when you do engine removal, you always have some liquids that are sitting in the cavities that are drained and stuff. So that's normal for it to smell like that. I'm not going to start the car for a long enough time right now. First, I'm going to address to the harness, put it all back together. Next, I will have to put the entire wiper blade housing cover back together. Wiper blade motor goes back in. And then, I've got a box back in here too. And then I'll be able to let the car run, make sure nothing overheats, and we don't have any other issues. Thanks for watching, everybody. I will see you in the next video. I wish you easy repairs. Thanks. Take care. Bye.